Welcome back to LarryB YouTube channel. In today's class we'll be learning how to make this beautiful pleated mesh sleeve. It's a very simple tutorial and it's beginner friendly. This is something you would like to learn. Kindly stay tuned to the end of this tutorial. Thank you. Okay, so to make this sleeve, I'm working with this green mesh. You can use any net fabric of your choice. So I'm going to be cutting this directly on my fabric. The amount of fabric you need is actually dependent on how full you want these pleats to be. So you can just measure the length of your sleeve. In this case, it's going to be a long sleeve. Okay, long sleeve usually stops around the wrist area, but I'm just going to be extending it a bit by 2 inches. So the actual long sleeve measurement is 24 inches. So if I'm extending it by 2 inches, that's going to be around 26 inches or 27, depending on what you want. So now for the pleat, you can multiply the total length by 2, by 1.5, or by 2.5 inches if you want it very full and you have enough fabric to work with. So the 26 inches, I'm just going to multiply it by 2. And that's going to give me around 52 inches for the length, for the total length that I'm working with. And the width that you're going to be using to fold your fabric is your round armhole measurement. So the round armhole I'm working with is 14 inches. 40 divided by 2 is going to give me 7 inches. So I'm going to be using that exact 7 inches because this mesh is actually very stretchy. As you can see, it's stretchy, so I don't need too much allowance for it. So I'm going to fold my fabric into 2, and I'm going to have 7 inches on fold for the width, and the total length is going to be 56 inches. So I'll cut that now and then we'll continue. Okay, so I've cut it now and this is what I have. It's quite long, so I'm just going to be taking it in bits. We're going to be working with on the head of the sleeve first before we go over to the width and then shape the width also. So for the head of the sleeve now, for my half height, I'm going to measure 4 inches downwards. Okay, from here on this open part. Remember, this other part is on fold and we're cutting this on freehand. So if you know how to cut your sleeve already, I'm sure this part will not be difficult. So now from here, I'm going to measure 4 inches downwards and then I'm going to mark it. Okay, so this is my 4 inches here, or 4.5 inches because it's a mesh, and then I'm going to mark it, and then from there I'm going to connect to the head of the sleeve like this. Okay, so you can see how I connected it, and then with my scissors I'm going to cut out the shape that I have. Okay, so the head of the sleeve is sorted now. The next thing is to move to the hem, and then on the hem you're going to measure around your wrist. Okay, and that's giving me around 9 inches. So 9 inches divided by 2 is going to give me 4.5 inches, and then a 1.5 inches here. You can make it 5 inches if you want to add allowance to it, but it's not necessary because it's a mesh and it's stretchy. So I'm going to mark that point. Then after marking that point, the next thing is to connect from this point here to the underarm. Okay, where the head of the sleeve stops, just like we shape our normal sleeve. So now I'm going to try to use my tape to connect them so that I can mark them at intervals before joining together. So after marking now, you're going to join it and then you're going to cut. Okay, so I've connected it and I've cut it out. So this is the leftover and this is the sleeve that we have now. You can see how long it is. So now the next thing is for us to go over to the sewing machine and then we sew it. Okay, so to sew this now, we're going to take it together on the underarm area, that's the opened part, and then we'll start to pleat it back to the size that the original size of the sleeve. So now you can see me taking both of them together now. Then I'm going to leave like 1/2 inch to sew it to the bodies before I start to pleat it. So here now I'll just pleat it and sew and then I'm going to place it out so you can see how I'm pleating. Okay, so now you can see that I started pleating it. So you just pick the two together, you pleat, and then you sew. Then you go over it again, pleat, and then you sew. So once you start pleating, you can see that it is giving her some gathers, and then it will resize the underarm area to its actual size. So that is how I'm going to pleat everything till I get to the hem. So you take the two together, remember it's unfold, and then you pleat them together. Take it, fold, and then pleat. So I keep pleating it, and once I get to the end, I'm going to lock it on this side. So this is what we have now. This is what it looks like. So on the hemline, I'm just going to leave mine like this. I can actually fold it, but the selvage is what is on the hem, so it's actually neat. So I'm just going to leave it. So because this is a mesh and it's transparent, so this same allowance, you can see I used white thread on the other side so that we can see the same line well. So now this same allowance that I have, I'm going to reduce it to the barest minimum, but make sure that you don't cut into your seam so that it doesn't destroy the seam that you have there. So I'm going to reduce this now, and then I'm going to take it to the mannequin so that we can see what this looks like. Okay, so when you turn the sleeve inside out, this is what it looks like. I can see the gathers that we have there. You can see all of the ruffles that you have there. So like I said, this is what multiplying by 2 gave me. If you want more ruffles around this area, you can multiply by 2.5 or even 3 inches, and then it will give you more ruffles. But this is fine and it's really beautiful. So you can embellish this with trimmings, or you can just bead on it to even make it more beautiful and more exotic. I hope you enjoyed making this tutorial with me. If you enjoyed making it, let us know in the comment section. Like, comment, and subscribe to our channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.